Hi all, I asked Miss Whitney if I could speak to you all about a subject that's near and dear to my heart. Money. Specifically coins, which I've been collecting for as long as I can remember. But before I continue, I would like to introduce myself to you all at Girls Inc. My name is Nicolas Bustamante Aguirre. I go by Nico. I am a relationship banker here in Owensboro, Kentucky, at Limestone Bank. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Kristen. We recently celebrated our 4-year anniversary. We love to travel when we get a chance, explore different places. We enjoy going to baseball games, go karts. We love visiting zoos. We do have 3 cats and a not so small dog. I am bilingual and fluent in Spanish and English. Entonces, si tienen alguna pregunta sobre el video, por favor comuníquese con su instructora y le doy la respuesta. Meaning, if you have any questions, please let one of your instructors know, and I will be happy to get an answer to them. That's just a little bit about myself. Alright, so I wanted to speak to you all about currency because we use it every day in all kinds of ways. We go to work, we earn a living, we use the money that we earn to pay our bills, we spend cash to purchase the items that we want or need. Most of us have walked around with money or change in our pockets and not given it a second thought. What is the significance of fiat money? Also referred to as legal tender, or as we all know it, cash. The entire world uses some form of fiat currency as a medium of exchange. Can you guess who sets the value of our paper money and coins? Who says that the dollar is worth a dollar, essentially? I'll give you a second to think about it. Alright, second's over. If you guess the government, then you are correct. Now, our country was once backed by gold, but due to complex global economics, multinational corporations, meaning that the corporations operate in more than one country, and taking into consideration that billions of people populate this planet, we do not have enough precious metals to support all the money used for international trade. Our country has not used what is referred to as the gold standard since August 15th, 1971. That means for almost 49 years now, our country has operated on the basis of faith that the currency that we use holds its value because the government has set a standard for it. As a matter of fact, currency systems in most countries operate in the same manner as the United States. This may be a bit of new information for you, and hopefully it gets you thinking. If you have any questions, that's great. Asking questions is a great way to learn. We are now moving on to coins, which is my favorite. I wanted to talk to you a bit about my coin collection here at the end, which started with this 1944 West Point Mercury dime that my brother found. He brought it to me, and that's where it all started. I am picturing it right here. Look at that. It's beautiful. I don't know if you'll have any sort of collection, but we have always been drawn to collecting. My brother and I have collected Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, pencils, erasers, stickers, stamps, all kinds of sports cards, comic books, and my brother even had a rock collection for a small period of time until he realized that he couldn't carry around his boulders with him. My favorite has always been my coin collection. There's so much that goes into it. You can collect coins for their numismatic value, the aesthetic value of the coin, meaning the way that it looks, the composition, meaning the metals that the coin is made of, the face value of the coin, and even the history of the coin. Can you imagine who may have held this penny that I'm picturing here? It's a penny from the 1800s. How many hands has this coin passed through? How many historic things have happened since this coin was created? There are even special reasons why coins are created. Take, for example, the busts of our past presidents, which the bust is kind of like a shoulders up type view. They're featured on our coins and also on our bills. These individuals accomplished great things. George Washington, for example, the first president of the United States, was featured on a quarter in 1932 in honor of the anniversary of his 200th birthday. Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. He was given the honor of being placed on the dime in 1946 because of his fight against polio, and which that led to the creation of the March of Dimes, and he was placed on the dime. That's pretty interesting, huh? Thomas Jefferson, his bust replaced the Buffalo nickel in 1938. He was the founding father that wrote the Declaration of Independence. He was the nation's first Secretary of State, the second Vice President, and the third President of this great country. He is credited with doubling the size of the U.S. by brokering the Louisiana Purchase. I'm going to picture that right here. That way you have some sort of idea as to how much he helped the U.S. grow. He didn't seem too busy, did he? He had enough time to help found the University of Virginia as well. And Abraham Lincoln. He was featured on the copper wheat penny in 1909, over 100 years ago. Just to go off subject, this coin has been redesigned so many times. It was redesigned again in 1943. The government was rationing its nickel supply during World War II and changed the copper penny to the steel penny. In 1959, the Lincoln Memorial was added to the back of the coin in commemoration of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and for the next 50 years, there was no change until 2009. For the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the coins were changed again. These coins depicted snippets of Lincoln's life, his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, pictured here, his formative years in Indiana, which show a young Lincoln reading while taking a break from rail splitting, his professional life in Illinois as a young lawyer, and then the last design features his presidency. It shows an incomplete Capitol dome. It was revised again the next year. This time it displayed the Union Shield. Presidents aren't the only individuals commemorated on U.S. coins. Benjamin Franklin, who some people think was a U.S. president, past and present U.S. governors, Queen Isabella of Spain, and other influential women have been featured on coins. Most recently, for the 2020 Native American $1 coin, there was a design from Miss Elizabeth Petrevich. Miss Petrevich was chosen because of her advocacy for Alaskan Natives and her impassioned speech in the Alaskan Senate that supported the first anti-discrimination law that passed in the United States. This year marks the 75th anniversary for this law passage, which prohibited discrimination to public accommodations. Miss Susan B. Anthony, she was also an advocate for social reform, and she was a women's rights activist. Miss Anthony helped form the National Women's Suffrage Association and became one of its most visible leaders. She traveled across this country and internationally to deliver speeches fighting for women's rights. Some of her biggest oppositions were the passing of the 14th and 15th Amendments, which gave voting rights to African American men. She was angry because the legislation did not include the right to vote for women. She believed that the amendments were not fair to women and petitioned, lobbied, and fought her whole life to make this come true. Her efforts contributed to the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920, which gave women the right to vote. Unfortunately, she did pass away 6 years before the amendment passed. The amendment states, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Congress shall have power to enforce the article by appropriate legislation." Sacagawea, who is pretty well recognized for her coin that made its premiere in 2000 at just 15 years old, and while she was 6 months pregnant, she assisted Lewis and Clark in their expedition westward from the Mississippi to the Pacific coast. President Thomas Jefferson had hired Meriwether Lewis, who then sought help from William Clark to explore the large amount of land acquired from the Louisiana Purchase. During their expedition, they met Sacagawea and her husband, and the couple accompanied the exploration party. Sacagawea served as a great resource for this team. She was familiar with the topography of the land that was being explored. She helped as a translator for the different native languages that they encountered, and she served as a symbol of peace. I guess it's a little bit intimidating to walk around with a baby. Her coin also features herself and her baby, John Baptiste. That's a lot to learn for today, but before I let you go, I want to leave you with one more thing, the different parts of a coin. When I'm coin hunting or shopping, I take into consideration some of these specifications. I'm going to be using an American Silver Eagle because it is one of my favorite coins to collect. Its design is beautiful. These coins also have amplified features that I want to show you. First thing is the denomination of the coin. We're referring to pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars, or dollars. This coin does not have a denomination attached to it, but it does have a value. Since it is backed by the U.S. government, it does have a value of $1. The composition of a coin, that means the metal plating and its consistency. This eagle is 0.999 silver. It does say fine silver on there. It's just beautiful. There are actually machines that read the composition of the coin and help weed out fakes. The next thing is the weight. This eagle weighs 1 troy ounce. The weight is a good way to determine if a bullion or a cube is legitimate and not counterfeit. The diameter of the coin, this can show whether somebody has shaved off precious metals or altered it in any way. And then there's the thickness of the coin, same thing. If somebody's altered the coin, it may not be the same thickness. Have you ever seen a flattened penny like it's been run over a million times? That penny does not look like a normal penny, so you would know that it's altered. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you all for sticking around until the end. I do have a surprise for you. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be giving Miss Whitney or someone at Girls Inc. an assortment of not-so-common coins. They're pretty cool. And a silver certificate dollar. In order to enter the drawing for this giveaway, I'd like for you all to send a message to Girls Inc. I was advised that you can call, message, or email. They're going to be entering your name in for a drawing. The winner will be selected in this time frame here after the post of this video. If you have any questions, please let your instructors know, and I'd be happy to answer them. You can always find great information at usmint.gov. It's full of learning resources. And also, if you'd like to learn more about influential women, you can visit womenshistory.org. Thank you all, and be safe. And I'm going to be going over my collection real quick. This is a little bit more candid, guys. I do want to let you know it is still informative. You get to see coins that aren't normally circulated. I do want to let you know as well that I do this for fun. I'm not trying to make a dollar off of this. This isn't so that I can profit. There is a market for coins out there, but I view this as, a hobby and an investment for myself. Uh, they're nice to have. They're pretty. And here we go. First thing in the morning, you wake up and you have your Wheaties, right? These are my Wheaties right here. Wheat pennies. They are pretty common. This is how I started collecting. I would look for these. So keep your eye out. I'm sure you can find some wheat pennies. Alrighty. And I do want to point out that coin at the top left is quite worn away. You can't even see the date on it anymore. That Standing Liberty quarter, compared to that quarter at the bottom right, it just kind of shows the wear of 100-year-old coins. Alrighty, and these are my favorite to collect, or some of my favorite Benjamin Franklin half dollars. There's some Standing Liberties right there. Also, you can see the wear on them. Generally, you can see the outline of the feathers on the eagle. And then Mr. Kennedy right there. Those are pretty fun to collect. These are all 90% silver, just so you know. They're pretty interesting. Here are a few of my war nickels. These actually have a bit of silver in them. During World War II, the nickel in the coins was being saved up, just kind of like the pennies that we talked about earlier. The mint mark is actually located above the Monticello building, if you can see it. And here's an assortment of dimes. There's a barber dime at the bottom left. You can see kind of the grade of the coin, how it's been worn away over time. Those mercury dimes, the lines are not as distinct. There's a still there. All right, and a silver eagle right there pictured. And there's a few maple leaves. Those are the Canadian bullion. And then at the bottom left, there's an Australian bullion. Queen Elizabeth is actually quite popular on coins. And there are a few of my coins that we went over. At the top left, you'll see a few silver bars. I don't know if you can zoom in on that. Here are a few of my foreign coins. Just so you know, I don't just collect currency. There are a few fun coins there on the right. All these coins come in different shapes and sizes. They use different metals as well, metal compositions. So some of them are a bit scratched up, worn on. Now those Mexican coins there, they do use two tones on those. Pretty interesting design there. I want to thank you all again for your time. If you intend on collecting, I do advise you please research these things. There's so many coins in the world. There's so much currency. Be informed. That's the only thing that I can stress. Be informed. Have a great day. Wear your mask. See ya.